Hi guys, welcome to the weekly update for the public. Let's get straight into it. We've got this chart here. As you know, if you follow me, this in RSI indicator is free, link in the description. And on the weekly chart, every time it has this green bar, it's indicated that the bottom is in or forming. Okay, and then we have here showing the small, when it's a small green bar, it's only because of the one candle bottom. So it has this candle with the wick and then holds it all the way along, same as what happened here. When it's the thicker green, we can have it chopping around and a move down to sweep more lows, if, as per here where the FTX collapsed, and it goes on for a longer period, right? Rather than one bar goes for 5 bars, which is what happened here again. So we could see something similar to this right now, or this collapse here is right here, and now we're forming this. Because as you can see, it's repeated it every time. Is it going to repeat it again? Well, we don't know, because this is only a small time frame really to take it from, of 15 years or so. So it's same as everyone believes in the 4-year cycle. Well, not going to go like that forever and ever and ever and ever just because you say so. The markets will tell you what's going to happen, and that's why we look at things differently, because everyone's believing in the 4-year cycle, and everything here is showing that the bottom is basically in. If you are going on cycles, where these are all cycles, these are all patterns of the cycle. So we'll go through quite a few charts showing what's in front of us and what we can determine whether the probability is it's the bottom's in, or are we going to drop down to $10,000 or $30,000. I just can't see that, to be honest, myself. If I have a look at all these charts, and the higher probability is the bottom is in. Let's get more into charts. If you follow me, you know about this chart here where I've referred to this cycle is similar to here, and we're looking at the RSI trend line on the 2-day on both, and now it's broken out again. So as you can see, what happens here when it breaks out, comes down, retests, we're into the bull market. Similar type of setup. We have this here, come down, small rise, and then the drop. So we could have a similar thing here where we rise up, come down, we have a rise up here, and then a drop down to that area I've been talking about, 55 or 48K, depending on how bad the capitulation is. Two charts here to look at. If you don't know what this is, then I suggest you look it up. It's been around for quite a while. This is the pi cycle theory. I've shown it many times, so I won't go into it, but you can work it out by looking at that. And this is the current one. This is saying if it was a normal cycle, then this is where the price will drop to in the bear market. But it wasn't a normal cycle, and we know that because this chart showed us that it isn't a normal cycle. So why would the bear market be a normal cycle after it's had this huge pump? It has to have a large retrace, whereas if it doesn't have a huge pump, why does it have to have a large retrace? I don't understand that, but that's crypto people for you. Believe whatever the guy with 1 million followers says. He's got to be right, for sure. Yeah. Follow the herd. You Google that and see how that performs in trading. We then have this chart here, 12-day, where the Gaussian channel on the pole setting of 4, which is default, the Gaussian channel, when it turns red, the bottom has been forming or has formed. So here it had already formed. Here it's forming, and lo and behold, it's turned red, which means what? It means that we're going to drop down to 3,000K, 30,000K, does it? After doing the same thing over and over again. Another indicator showing possible bottoms in. When this RSI on the 12-day gets above this pink line, the bottom's in and the bear market's over. Okay. Even here on the COVID crash. See here? And look what we got here. Hasn't confirmed until next Monday. We did have this here where it did go up and then come back down, which it hasn't done before, only here. But it's basically saying, well, the bottom's in. Also, this pink line, purple line here, it touches each time, and it's already done that. We see here on the LMACD, this should move down to here, but that doesn't mean the price has to fall for that to go down there. It could just go sideways, which is what it basically does when it's saying that it's forming. On the 5-day chart, let me get rid of this. Okay, this here was from when it was back at 74K and it went up to 98. That was our plan, was to go long up to 98 and then short for this, which is what happened. So we can see here that when it touches this blue line, what happens is it has a rally and then goes up. Even here where it broke, it touched it here, means the bear market has started, and then here, even when it touches it here, it has the bounce and then down. Okay, same as what's happening right now. Bear market starts, then we have it come up, and now it's touched it again. So what will we see here? There's two things that can happen. It'll have a rally and then a crash, which would put it down to that 54 to 48K area. Or is this the start of the bull market? Because once it comes up and bounces off here, and if it doesn't crash down, it's the bull market. Okay, because it does it each time. It comes up, bounces, up it goes. Once it gets above this blue line. We can even see on the 5-day chart that at each bottom it comes down and touches this area. Here it did it twice. So the possibilities are this could have a rally, and it won't rally to this yellow 55 moving average because it doesn't go up that high usually in a bear market rally. So it will go to the pink 34. So you're looking around that 70K area, which is what I've been talking about if this is a inverted head and shoulders pattern playing out here. and then we could see a rally up to this pink 34, and then the crash down to this area somewhere around here, which we talk about in other charts. And all the patterns to do with the moving averages here all indicate that we're at the bottom, or it's forming and there's a little bit more to go, but I just can't see it going down to 38k or 30k when it hasn't had the same rise in the bull market that it had before. A very shallow rise, so it's probably a very shallow bear market. If you've seen this before, no one else has done this on YouTube. I showed it previously. You take a VWAP, anchored VWAP from the top with these settings that I've shown in previous videos. You can go find it. And we're looking at this here, the yellow and the blue here, and what happens when the bottom is formed or is happening. Is look at how they crash down. It touches it one last time, crashes down. Touches it one last time, crashes down. Look at the blue here. Touches it one last time, and everything then crashes down, the blue and the yellow. We don't have that currently. So this is saying that the bottom isn't in yet, and there could be a possible small rally and a crash down to hit this yellow, and then that would move this yellow and this blue straight down like these here. So like before, okay? Have we seen it where it's different this time? Because, as I said, it's a different bull market, so it will be a different bear market. So maybe that pattern might not happen. But relying on statistics and previous analysis, this is what we'd be looking for. So this is a possibility, is it comes up and then comes down, touches this yellow, which would be at that 48k. So more likely a swing failure pattern of this exact spike candle right here, which would also line up with this support flip of this area right here, which coincides with this as well over here, or around that 48k swing failure pattern of here. This is what I'm really looking at now. If this was to move down, I think this is where you get in at the low. And the reason for that is for that support area, the SFP here. And then one other thing, if you've noticed on this chart before, where I said when you take the main VWAP line and it comes along, and on the next bear market, the price doesn't go down to it. It sits just above. As we can see, this is what it's doing here. Even if you move to this top, which was the actual top, because this was a double top, it would still be the same. It hasn't touched it. And then the reason I say this bear market is totally different to others, and that it's not going to be a 4-year cycle, and that it's not going to go down to 30 odd K, is because of this. This is telling us that it should not, as per everything else previously, shouldn't go down below that previous VWAP. It could, yes, and break all the patterns, because that's what it did in this bull market. It broke a lot of patterns that it had never done before. So, and if you don't know, you take the blue, this top blue line, and every time before, it used that blue line as the parabola to hold, during the parabolic move, as you can see, even here. But on this cycle here, it was underneath it. There was no parabola. So if there's no huge move up, why should be there huge move down? It doesn't make sense why, just because we have this, that you expect the price to go down to $30,000 now to coincide with every bear market previously, because the bull market was nothing like the others. And this shows us that it wasn't. We have proof, not just your thoughts or some influencer saying, well, I think this is it. Well, I'm showing you the facts that they're wrong. Now let's have a look at something that I've shown to my students. If you want to become a student, you pay a small fee monthly of $80, and I teach you how to analyze charts like this and to trade. We trade Bitcoin. Okay, I do some altcoin, but I don't really trade altcoins too much because they're shit coins. At any moment, they could get hacked. At any moment, they could get pulled from an exchange. At any moment, the devs could cash out every single coin they have, and you have no control over it. Yes, the same thing could happen to Bitcoin. Satoshi might wake up and sell all his tokens. But there's a lot more liquidity in here than in some shitcoin. And you're going to risk all your money on it. And then it could get rug pulled overnight on you. Doesn't sound like a great plan to me. I learned that the hard way years ago. Now I don't trade in shitcoins very often because it's just so much easier looking at this market here, and I know everything about it. I know all its patterns, its structures, everything I need to know about this market. Whereas if I traded 500 coins, I'd need to know 500 charts in and out. This is why I'm so accurate on Bitcoin, because I basically look at this and I don't look at 25 altcoin charts. I just look at Bitcoin. Much easier to trade as well. So we're looking here at this as if you follow the Elliott waves, you would know that this is a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the peak of the 5th Elliott wave. Okay, you can check out Alessio Rastani or Bob Proctor, they're Elliott wave guys, and they've got a video out on it. And if that's the fact, then this will be a major correction. And then that would also line up with what's called the 18.6 year market cycle, which I have a video out for students. I'm not sure if I showed anyone else, but they know all about it. And the 18.6 year market cycle could end here, and then we go into a multi-year bear market, which would look something like this. And this is calculated out. This isn't just some random drawn line like you see influencers do. This is precisely calculated. Doesn't mean it's going to play out. Okay, just because I've put this on here, that doesn't mean this is going to happen. This is just a scenario. And as I said in a previous video, we just play out, we plan for scenarios, and then we watch, and when it happens, then we know. So if we see this rally all the way up to here and reject, then we know this is in play. We see it, this rally up to here and then fall down, we know that this is in play. We have all these plans in place. If we see this rally all the way up, reject from here and then fall down, or if we see it come all the way down to 30,000 as per that pi cycle indicator, then we know that plan's in play. So we have all these scenarios planned out, and then we react to whichever one is happening. Don't stick to, oh, this is it, because that's stupidity. So we have here, this could be, if this is all lining up with the Elliott waves, the end of year 18-year market cycle, and this could be a multi-year bear market. And this is how it would play out. and then all that other analysis and these other charts and all those cycles would be dead in the water, which I think they already are anyway, because this bull market killed a lot of those cycle indicators. So maybe the bear market is similar and it's not going to do exactly like it did previously. So this is something we're looking at as a potential scenario. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. So we just monitor, and we have this here, and if this plays out, we know exactly what's happening. So yeah, this is what we're looking at here. This yellow and blue as per previous is, to me, it's quite important to see what happens here. And also with the current price, which we're going to delve into right now. A bit of a long video, but there's a lot to go over. So we were back here, and then I said that it's a high chance of it moving up. I would have liked it to come back down to that 60k area I was talking about, but it didn't. The internet's a bit slow, but it didn't go down there. So like I said, don't always get what you want. So this could be playing out already, this right shoulder, okay, because it's broken through this trend line. We can get rid of this now. And we've come up, we've hit this levels and the VAH. Swing failure pattern of this high right here. Just happened early this morning. And now we wait and see if this is going to fall down from here. Because like I said, we have this market structure of lower lows and lower highs. Just holding on right now. If this breaks up above this level, candles close above here, then that market structure is broken. And it won't get down to that 60k area. Unless it's a fake out, obviously. But right now it's on the verge of breaking out. The only thing going against it is there is a slight bearish divergence here. And we've had that swing failure pattern of that high. And it coincided with hitting the VAH, the VWAP, the fib pocket, and the weekly level all at once, which is quite strong. But we can see it's holding up well so far, but is this just going to collapse from here? So right now is a short trade, which I spoke about in the previous video, would have been at this level here. And then you wait and see. So this is that red trend line for the inverted head and shoulders I spoke about a month ago. That could be playing out. And so we have to watch here. If this breaks back above here, then we know it's going up to this red line, and then we monitor to see what happens. Whether it breaks up, comes back, retests, and then moves up, goes up to that 70 odd K area, which is the inverted head and shoulders target. Or do we see it break out, hit this major VWAP, which is from the top, and it fall down, and then we have that pan out where it has that final drop. Like here, which would then line up with that VWAP move down. Okay, so right now, the only trades are the short trade that was up here. So you could get in late here, but you'd have to have a fairly wide stop loss. So you wouldn't be going too high on leverage and make it a small position. So you could put a position in around this area, or even wait for it to come back up to here and then try again. And then, like I said, if it breaks here, then we move up to here, and then we monitor to see if this is going to break out or reject from this area here, which is another short. So we're either shorting here or you're shorting here, because we're looking for that to fall over. Now, on the bullish side, you should have been in back down here, or even when it bounced off this VWAP multiple times. So there's no long here because we're at the top and this could fall over. So like I said, the only long I'm interested in is down at that 60k area. And then that's only if it fall over from here. If it goes to here and then falls over, well, I think we go further than the 60k. All right, so that's what we're looking at. And I've given you all the different charts and explanations on why the bottom is already forming or in. And then I've given you one or two indications showing that there could still be one last capitulation, which would line up with that other chart of the VWAP. All right, I'll leave you with it. See you next week.